So humility and empathy has to be my calling card of what I use to even be sensitive to where you are. Because you say you want change, but I have to recognize where you are as you see you are for the change you say you are trying to get. So if I can empathize with that situational insight that you're going to teach me about how you're seeing your life, which is dysfunctional function, and you say you want change, can I relate to why you're in that place of self abuse? Yeah. It is self abuse. Because if you was feeling good, then you would not want to change nothing. You want more of it. Right? So if you're feeling this discontentment or this lack of joy in yourself, that means there's a lot of stinking thinking going on. Negativity grounds positivity energy, right? So when I try to tell folks when I see them in that state, one thing I do know, they are not functioning with a constant positive mental attitude as a lifestyle mental perspective. There may be back and forth all the time, depending on the situation. But to me, it is important to make a definitive conviction that no matter what I have to deal with, people, places, and things, I will always maintain a positive mental attitude. Why? Because it's a choice. Yeah. Right? You can say as a child, attitude is a learned behavior. But as an adult, it is an educated choice. You literally are choosing if you're going to be negative or positive as an adult. So if you come to me and you're saying, I don't want to, but I want to, then come back when you really want to. Because you can't have both as prospects. Right. One should be eliminated and one should be, planted, watered, and be consistently, disciplinedly developing.
I think it's your conscious fighting with your subconscious. But you constantly say, I want to do this, but then the subconscious recreates that chaos.
Correct.
Exactly.
Subconscious is not changing. It's just repeating, developmental bad convictions that you have as a belief system. So like a lot of folks come to me and their self-esteem and their self-worth is very low. So in order to allow that person to really be self-loving again, they have to have value for themselves. But someone in their life, traumatically, developmentally, been crushing that development by, telling the child, just keep your mouth shut. Everything you open your mouth to say is always stupid. So that child believes that he's always going to keep his mouth shut because he doesn't want people to think he's stupid. So he starts building up a very negative perception of himself. Right. Parent may not have known that's what the child is doing, right? But that child starts that, so his personality is very have a low self-esteem, and you will see it in people's lives all through until they revalue themselves to what they say they're worth. Because self-esteem and self-worth is an autonomous decision. Nobody's self.
Self, yeah.
You get it? So why would I listen to you? What you telling me I am? The thought belongs to the subject of it.
What's crazy in my experience is the people who deal with that issue the most in terms are typically, not typically, but like normally, they're very successful in their own way. Like you could probably tell them, at least my experience is, here's a paper. Write down all the successes you've had. And if you do it in a way that they're not like really in depth in their head, they'll just start writing down like a soliloquy of all the things that they've done and accomplished and all their skills. And, then it's almost like, I guess there's like this negative side, this negative perception of themselves. But then there's also this egotistical, like, and they're like living simultaneously where they feel like shit.
Yeah.
But they think they the shit at the same time.
Well, and that's where that pride and ego causes you to stay in this vortex of stupidity or ignorance. Like, and I love this quote by Martin Luther King. He said the two most dangerous things in the world is sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. So some people are sincerely ignorant but have no desire to want to even educate themselves to change. But then they'll say they want change. But there's no application. And it's this side, the other one who have the knowledge but refuse to use it but want change.
Right.
So normally, most of the time I ask clients who come in my office, are you sincerely ignorant or are you conscientiously stupid? Now, it's not a disrespectful statement, right? But I'm making sure they understand I'm their advocate. But I want them to be introspectively seeing how they're behaving with what they say they know already and still choosing to have a negative mental attitude about. So that's stupidity.
What is with this? 'Cause, I think about this all the time.
Somebody's gonna be saying, "Oh, you call me stupid?" No, you call yourself stupid.
What is it with only taking advice from certain people who have like an outside perspective? So I see this happen mainly in relationships, like domestic. So this can be mother, child, whatever. Where you have the child and the child saying some real shit. The child like, yo, like, wow, you shouldn't do this, this, and that,
Yeah.
or whatever it may be. Whatever, be quiet. But then the second the mother, the brother, sister, cousin, whatever, goes in front of a therapist or a doctor or some random person that for some reason they have some reverence towards, they listen to that advice. So they might listen to you, and then you're stuff like, I say that to you all the time.
Yeah.
Why don't you listen to me? If I love you. This guy just met you, or this woman just met you.
Well, think about what that person have been observing from your character and all facets of your behavior, which is not consistent, because we talk about discipline so many times. So if you're telling me, if you had seen, you know me for a little bit, if my discipline was off and I'm telling you other things, I'm a hypocrite to what I'm saying. So who wants to listen to that? So a child looks at the parent and what we normally say, look, what you do it too? And the partner get defensive. Wait, what? I'm like, yeah, you don't do that. Do what I say. Don't do that. You didn't teach that. You told that child he should not listen to you because you didn't want to listen to what he was saying to you about what you said to him, and you denied receiving it yourself. So why should that child listen to that person? Because the person says, "I can do it, but you can't." But the child in this imprinting stage is learning how to limit.
But that's the thing, right? Is right, wrong is wrong. So it don't matter whose mouth comes louder. Like I shouldn't have to have a PhD or a doctor next to my name for you to respect the truth.
Right, no, but what is showing me more of a consistent reference? Your behavior or what you're telling? What's more long lasting? What people say or what they do?
Behavior. And
right? And we always say that I hear you when I see you. You know, what you do tells me what you're saying. And I can prove that.
And
if you hang around somebody long enough, you will know exactly who they are. But you have to be patient because they have a whole lot of habits that you have to see them perform. And then you don't know who they are. So most people put off the facade when they come into a new relationship and everything, right? Because they don't want that person to know who they really are. Because we don't even love ourselves like that, even when we come to get into a relationship to say, I want love. But then we'll put on the facade, and after the honeymoon period is over, then we start showing who we really are. And it's coming out in all kind of ways. And you can't even put a plug on it like, you're like, oh, Lord, why did I even get to this person? So did you come in to meet that person halfway as they are? Or did you have, a premeditated expectations that you had, and now because they're not fulfilling it, you have resentment? And that's what expectations are. Expectations are nothing more than premeditated resentment, because literally you're setting yourself up, looking for perfection from imperfection, and when it doesn't come, you have an attitude showing your imperfection, which you should have never had as an expectation in the first place.